If you'll agree to my terms, I will negotiate with you. This is about my little brothers and sisters. Promise me you'll spare them. If you can swear that no harm will come to them, I would be willing to trade for them.
The other children are over there.
What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to another episode of Sentence to Be a Hero. Now, this episode is pretty cool and my favorite word, interesting at the same time. And the reason why is because not only do we get, the introduction of another character, a minor character, they'll have a moment in the spotlight, but at some point they're just there for another obstacle. But at the same time, we get to see the demon, quote unquote, see the demon lord Spriggan for the very first time. For the longest time, I thought it was Bujum. No. There is another fairy / big demon lord. And Bujum's not a demon lord, probably more like a high ranking fairy or some other creature that works with the demon blight, or maybe is a human that has demon blight shenanigans going on. But in all other words, we do get to reveal Spriggan. But also at the same time, there is not a big overarching theme, but it is a challenging theme. The idea of human nature. What are you willing to do to ensure the survival of maybe only yourself or your family? What are you willing to do, sacrifice? Would you be willing to condemn humanity for all of eternity just for the sake of your own survival? Would you? Well, Sodrick has the answer to that question. But before we get to that, we gotta have a fight. But before we have the fight, we get to have a little comedic moment at the beginning of the episode where we follow this small adventuring group as they run down the alley. They're looking for a big payment, which then leads us to the end of the previous episode where Xylo made the big explosion atop of the Avengers Guild, and hey, it's time to scrap. But before we actually get to scrap, sorry, don't worry, we'll get to scrapping in a moment. We see Sodrick and with Eerie, his sister, and Sodrick is burning all the evidence he can, and he's prepping his escape. And when Eerie, his sister, put out the call for the others for reinforcements and assistance, she mentions someone called the Iron Whale. We'll get to him in a moment. He's cool. And then Sodrick drops the one line saying that, hey, we have no choice but to kill the one packed with the goddess, that being Xylo. After that, finally, the action begins, and they get to scrapping. And it's mostly Kivia and Frenchie getting the spotlight for the moment in time, especially Frenchie, because we haven't really seen her really fight, and she fights pretty cool. She's got this curved little thunder sword. It's amazing. And Xylo's off on the perimeter taking out their range attackers and sealing off reinforcements, and Kivia's just barking orders, but barking complaints. And also the child assassins get into the fight as well, and Kivia's a little bit afraid to harm them, but Frenchie's just stun batons with a sword one of them and knocks the kid out. See, you can defeat them without killing them. And the adventuring group that we saw in the beginning of the episode appears, and they say, yeah, we're the top party of the EOF Adventures Guild. And it's comical that their thunder staves are firework launchers instead of the actual weapons. So they're really comic relief. They're the jokesters. You just, body them easily. Of course, everything can't be that easy, as a troll appears, one of the fairy trolls, and it causes a ruckus, and it gives our current party some trouble. And by current, I do mean just Kivia, Frenchie, and Xylo. But it's not until Terroretta and the rest of the heroes, except for Sav and Dada, show up to assist. And so everyone gets their own little screen time of action and action sequences. Norgal throwing explosives. Tatsuya finally getting proper animation after that abysmal defensive demon blight attack where he just got PowerPoint presentations And Jace, he gets the cool too, even though he doesn't have his dragon Neely with him. He attacks the horse riders and only the riders only, and he consoles the horses afterwards. And of course, Terrorita with Xylo summons the big giant sword and we defeat the troll. Cool. And small little moment between Xylo and Terrorita, as it's the growth to where now Xylo is comfortable or is more willing now to praise Terrorita, pat her on the head, and Terrorita is smiling and happy. After that, we switch over to Sodrick and Eerie escaping. But I don't know if this is like an anime thing, but why is Sodrick turning around to notice like the whole destruction on it? And he's just commenting, it's like, oh, this city, it was given to me by my predecessors. And of course, Eerie is getting caught in the crowd and she can't catch up to her brother. And then Dada just has the easiest, hey, don't move or else. And Dada successfully absconds Sodrick. Like, come on, dude. It's in a terrible situation. You know that people might be after you. Of course, the destruction going on in your city. You knew that from the beginning already when you got Bujum and CG Bayou. There's no reason for you to turn around and have that moment of reflection. It's like, man, this city is being destroyed. It was given to me by my ancestors, my predecessors. Why did I fail them? Oh, hey, Dada. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, I'll go with you. No! Move! Anyway, after that little incident, we cut to Bujum, Shijibayu, and the Iron Whale, the new Avenger, as they're both commenting on the situation in the city about Sodrick being gone and where's the money gonna come from. Well, there's no reason to like help because the money is gone. Sodrick is gone. The Iron Whale moment the time to take about him, he is a behemoth of a man in armor and he's got this large cannon. We get to see him in action a little bit soon. He's cool. I dig his design. So Bujum says, yo, I'm gonna go after Sodrick, but unfortunately a little demon black fly gets into his ear. Bujum sighs. He's like, well, I got new orders. We gotta abandon Sodrick, but hey, you two looking for a new job? And both CG and the Iron Whale, for one reason or another, now finally realize that Bujum is with the demon blight as the fairies roll up. And Bujum said, hey, we're willing to pay. And the Iron Whale is like, man, I don't care where my money comes from. I'm in. And the orders are to sever connections between us, that being the demon blight, and Sodrick, literally without a trace. And of course, the only one with like some morals or reason is Shiji, as she's like, are you telling me to turn my back on humanity? And Bujum just drops the hardest, coldest line, something that he learned from Sodrick. There's nothing more important to humans than protecting themselves and their families, or securing proportionate benefits for themselves. To value other things more than protecting their race as a whole. That's human nature. Am I wrong? And Shiji just goes like, nah, you're right. And I'm like, people, he's kind of spitting, he's kind of spitting a little bit. Like, I mean, this town is cool and all, but, I was just living here for a moment in time. I'm just a simple merchant. And you're telling me you're paying me money to like do this little evil deed just so that I can live in this moment in time for a couple more years. I lived a good life in this city. They're fine. I can let this city be razed to the ground and like disappear from the map and history of Texas. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I'm with you. It's a cruel ultimatum, but hey, if you want to live yourself, sacrifices have to be made. And of course, in life, a lot of choices are sacrifices, opportunity costs. You make one decision, you give up the other one. Very simple. Hey, you like McDonald's and you like McDonald's, you like Burger King. Of course, you only want one meal from them. So you gotta decide, do you want McDonald's? Do you want Burger King? You go to McDonald's, you sacrifice the choice of going to Burger King. You go to Burger King, you sacrifice the choice of going to McDonald's. On a small scale, that's very simple. But on a much grander scale, when you say I got two friends that are in like desperate situations, but I can only help one of them, which one is going to give you the most benefits in the future? That's a horrible way to think about it, but it is the choice that you have to make. Say this friend, if they help you, you get benefits A, B, and C. But if you help friend 2, they give you benefits maybe C, but also you get benefits E, F, and G. And you're like, which one is more important to you? Which one is more valuable to you? Which friend is more valuable to you? It's like, that sort of thing. But hey, Sodrick has an answer to that question as well. Yeah, so speaking of Sodrick, hey, he's being interrogated by Xylo and the others. And of course, Sodrick is like, yeah, I attempted to kill you guys, but I know nothing of my employer. But hey, if you want to know information, I'm willing to negotiate. And Xylo agrees to the terms. Ensure the safety and family of Sodrick's family. That being, his brothers and sisters, the child assassins. Kivia's against it, but Xylo's like, be quiet. So Sodrick's goal was to kill the goddess, Territa, and his employer called himself a coexister. Now Xylo and the others are kind of being wrapped into it slowly. 10 days ago, he had his first meeting with a man in a black mask. This man was making Sodrick an offer he could not refuse. Obey, coexist, or die. Options 1 and 2 sounds really good. So Sodrick meets up with intermediaries for 3 days after that. And these people are everywhere. You have to prove yourself useful to them if you don't want to die. Simple. The coexisters have a plan to give full authority to the demon lords, while they, the coexisters, act as rulers over the humans below them. A very harsh pyramid of slaves at the bottom, slave masters in the middle, lords at the top controlling everything. And because the demon blight has spread so much and has taken so many lives and lands, Sodrick thought that the best opportunity for him and his family was to go for that overseer role, to make sure that his family stays in the middle, so that, hey, yes, they are being controlled by the demon lords, but they themselves are not at the bottom of the barrel. They are not the slaves. They are the overseers. They aren't being suppressed fully. And you can't fault him for that, He's doing his best. He's trying to make sure that his little sister Eerie, even though that she's a stone cold killer herself, you got the best in the world, girl. You're good. And all the other ones, even though they got beaten up, hey, it's okay. You didn't die yet. You're fine. Foreshadowing. So Xylo's like, man, I want some real information. And Sodrick gives him the name of the man in the black mask. It is Mahezel Zelkov. And Kivia immediately scoffs at the name. So like, hey, that's ridiculous. Mahezel is the name of a saint, the leader of a temple during the First War of Subjugation. But then she pauses on Zelkov as she's about to ask for more information. But before that, the guild just gets blasted by the Iron Whale as he's off in the distance, just making pot shots at everything. He bombards the area and it makes it a wasteland. In the chaos, Sodrick escapes. So now the situation is Xylo tells Kivia, hey, yo, we're going after Sodrick. Well, everyone else, I guess they're just dealing with everything on the outside. Speaking of Sodrick, we see him escaping into the sewers. And he reunites with Eerie. Woo! It's a happy moment. And he tells her, hey, yo, I gave him some information, but it's okay. And Eerie's like, information? What do you mean? The reunion isn't so happy as Eerie just puts her hand through Sodrick. Oh, that's not Eerie. She's being controlled by whoever this is. And fake Erie just moves that lantern off into the back, and there's the other family coagulating in a pool of blood. Hey, so much for that deal with Xylo. Jeez. And of course, fake Erie finishes off the job, and fake Erie turns to the other three and being, yo, scorch earth plan, kill everyone, turn this whole place to ash. Top priority, kill Terroretta, make sure she's gone. And Shiji just asked the most innocent questions like, hey, what should we call you by? And fake Erie goes like, you can call me Spriggan. Ah! And the episode ends. Man, yikes, Sodrick, man. Sodrick, no. Well, no. Good riddance for you, Sodrick, for turning your back on humanity. But I understand your situation. I know what you're trying to go for. I understand. It's just so unfortunate that nothing worked out for you or your family in the end. Like, nobody on your side lived. Dang. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but you know, should have played your cards better, I guess. Man, hey, that's how cruel the world is, and that's really how deep the demon blight is. Like, they are within the royal family. Like, humanity may not seem like on the surface that people say, hey, yo, humanity is losing the fight. Humanity has probably lost the fight already if the demon blight is that deep within royalty and the temple. Like, you guys are gone. They just need to like clean up like a few little people, Xylo and the hero unit, and they got full control. It's over. It's done. I enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see Spriggan fight and then promptly be defeated by Xylo and the others. But we'll see how that works out next episode. For everyone else, comment down below what y'all think about the episode, what y'all think about anything else. Would you be like Sodrick and condemn the entirety of humanity just so that you can live? I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would. I would make the choice to be an overseer role if I didn't have powers, you know. If I could not fight back, and if I had the amount of influence that they needed, I spread my influence, man. You know, survival to your own. Make the choices that you can make to ensure. It's like what Bujum said. It's human nature. But with that being said, hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.